Hey everyone, welcome to the RDG Sports Channel. Hey, we're going to be talking about Jalen Pope and Brian Thomas Jr. How I feel about those guys and why am I even making a video about these guys. Stay tuned, RDG Sports Channel. Next.
Work hard and play hard and grind harder just like that. Work hard and play hard and grind hard. I'll be right back.
Hey everyone, welcome to the RDG Sports Channel with your boy RDG. We in the building. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification button also so you'll be informed every time I drop a video. Let's see. I'd like to give thanks to the people who just subscribed to my channel. I'm nothing without you guys, and please believe that. Let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. Hey, now, I believe we should draft some wide receivers, a wide receiver in the second round. And I say that because you got two outstanding studs, man. You just cannot pass up in that second round if they are available. Keyword if, you know. You got the names, the wide receiver names are Brian Thomas Jr. and Jalen Pope. These second tier guys, really they're not second tier. They're like 1B. You got Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison, those and Adunze, those three right there, and the guy from Oregon, number 11. Those guys right there, all four of those guys, they're like 1A. But then you come down to, and you can argue that these guys are 1B, but we're just going to say 1B, right? Jalen Pope is a strong guy. He can take the big shot. He can go across the middle. He's a good route runner. He's got strong hands. He's got a good frame. He's 6'2", like 205, 210, somewhere around there. And the guy, he's got good, he can stretch out and could get the contested balls. He's got good speed. He's not a burner, but he got good quickness and speed on him. He probably run around like a 4.4 or 4.39, somewhere around there. But the guy's strong, man. You know what I'm saying? Go look at his highlights and check him out. This guy, he just absorbs the ball. When the ball in his vicinity, he just absorbs it. You know what I'm saying? 1 minute he said, the next minute when he's around that ball, it's already gone. He's got it in his grasp of his hands, and he's off and running. You know what I mean? He's he's got a great football awareness. You know what I mean? You can tell, when he's out there playing, and the when he gets when he's like in the zones and stuff like that, he's got a good feel to where to fit. He know how to shield the cornerback from his body, separate himself from the defender. He's real good at that. You know what I mean? He just got a knack for getting his hands on the ball when the ball is around him. And I like a guy like that. You know what I mean? And Brian Thomas Jr. is another one, man. This guy 6'4", 205, 210, somewhere around the same. But this guy leaping ability for his height, and he can stretch out and make and catch the contested balls and stuff like that. And this guy got good top end speed. When he's at the top of the route, you know what I mean? He gets more separation from the defender when the ball is in the air. That acceleration that he has, those long strides. Man, this guy's amazing, man. I'm not saying he's Calvin Johnson or Herman Moore or Randy Moss or any of those guys. But this guy right here, man, he can be a starter. He could be a number one on at least half the teams in the NFL, day one. I'm talking like soon as he get drafted, you could pencil him as your number one starter. That's how good this guy is. Notice I said half the teams. Now you got guys like the other four I named, the top tier guys, the likes of Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., the kid from Oregon, and Adunze. Those guys are day one. They could be starters on, I say 85% of the teams in the NFL. They could be the number one wide receiver. You know what I mean? So if those two guys fall in the second round, you got to grab one of them. If you're Peters, you have to draft one of those guys because Samuels is like we already got Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin. They're not the tallest guys in the world. We got the three amigos out there, the three Smurfs. You know what I'm saying? We need some size and some height up in there. And one of those two guys will provide that. You know, that's another reason why we struggle in the red zone, because we don't have nobody we can throw that outside shoulder pass to or that fade. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have somebody with size when you tighten that red zone, because a lot of our games are gonna come down to us getting down in that red zone and punching it in. That's the difference between a team that averages 28 to 29 points a game versus a team that averages only 21, 22 points a game. You gotta, when you're in that red zone, you gotta, if you're in that red zone 4 times, you gotta convert 3 out of 4 of them. For every 4 times you're in that red zone, you gotta convert touchdowns at least 3 out of 4 times. If you're in there 6 times, you gotta go in there at least 4 to 5 times, and so on and so on. Even if you get in there 10 times, you gotta at least go in there between 7 to 8 times. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. So those two guys will help you, and it'll free up some of them other wide receivers when you got to pay attention, when that safety got to cheat over there and pay attention to that guy that's on a smaller cornerback. You know, it'll free up Jahan Dotson, who's good in tight areas, tight space. Terry McLaurin, who could take a hit across the middle. He can run a slant or something in there. I mean, just the little things that, you know, that can help, the extra little things that can help get those wide receivers more touches inside the red zone. You know, teams didn't never fear, and the closer you get to that red zone, the more tighter it gets down there. But when you got a guy, you can throw that ball and throw it over the defender's head. You know what I'm saying? You could do a back shoulder throw. You could do a fade. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Or you can go have the wide receiver, the tall wide receiver, go across the middle and leap up, throw it towards the goalpost and have him leap up and snag it out the air. Those are the type of wide receivers that you need to do those type of things. The type of wide receivers that we have, you cannot do those types of things, those sorts of things at all. So that's why I said, I know we need offensive linemen, but you also have, remember, we also have free agency. I know we only got like 20-something players signed on the team, and a lot of other players not signed on the team, or whatever the case may be. So I know some of that money is going to get eaten up by that. But you definitely got to sign at least a offensive lineman, at least a left tackle, and, you know, draft a couple of them in the draft, along with signing a defensive end. You know what I'm saying? And a linebacker or safety. One of those positions, you know, we have to fill up the free agency. You know, at least 2 of those positions, or 3. I'll say 3 at the most. We can get 3 free agency signings here. One, if it was me, it would be a pass rusher, a linebacker, and an offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Those would be the 3 ones that I would go. I would go left tackle. That's quarterback blind side. You can't go wrong with that. You definitely got to get a linebacker and pair him up with Jamin Davis. You know what I mean? And then you definitely got to get a pass rusher to rush the quarterback. So you need a protector, a guy that's going to sack the quarterback, and a guy that's going to play strong around that front 7. You know what I mean? You got the 2 tackles in the middle. You get a pass rusher on one side, then you draft another pass rusher in the 3rd round, or you could use that second pick in the 2nd round to draft a pass rusher. So, I mean, you're not going to fill the void all up in one, season anyway. So you might as well get a guy that can help your offense at least score points. Until you get the other areas in your team fixed. At least be out there, going out there and having a chance to win a game. Maybe your defense can make a stop here and there. You know, maybe we could become that bend but don't break defense. You understand what I'm saying? And we putting up them points, put pressure on the other team because they know we can score points. But a guy like Polk and Thomas Jr., that right there will give you instant offense. You know what I'm saying? That's another player the defense got to account for. You know what I'm saying? When they're inside that red zone. And I think this guy's more pure wide receiver than Curtis Samuel was. Curtis Samuel, to me, was more like a gadget player. He was more utilized as a gadget player. You know what I'm saying? So I think you need a guy that's a real wide receiver. Curtis Samuel's too much Deebo Samuel's like. You know what I'm saying? Slightly below Deebo Samuels. You know what I mean? And plus, we wasn't utilizing them right. But you still need size. down there. You still need size down in that red zone. And you need a guy that's going to come across that middle and take them hits from those linebackers. And that's a guy, and one or two of those guys, man, they the type of guys that got the body for that. You know what I mean? They can go across and catch those contested high balls that sometimes the quarterback throw. They can go up there and reach it versus you throwing it to a smaller wide receiver and the ball get tipped and then you got an interception. With a guy like Polk and Brian Thomas Jr., you could throw it high. At least those guys put their hand on it and try to grab it and snag it and cradle it in towards their body. You know what I'm saying? With the guy and to me, Terry McLaurin was the only guy that can do that. But at the same time, this guy he was always getting so much attention. That's why his numbers was tailored, and then the quarterbacks that he had throughout his career. This guy's not getting a fair opportunity, man. And it's a shame that we're allowing this guy to waste. He's getting older now. He's not getting younger. It's a shame that we're allowing this guy to waste, because we won't get him a quarterback. So everybody that keeps saying you got to build in the trenches first, that may be true. That is true. But at the same time, when you got a quarterback like with the caliber of Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr., those type of quarterbacks, Bo Nix and all those type of guys, J.J. McCarthy, you got to at least get one of those guys, man. You have to. You just can't just say, oh, you got the second pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying? You got the best picks out of anybody else on the team unless somebody trade up and give you the farm. I mean, we talking about first round picks for the next 4 years. That's what they would have to give up to me. And one of your star players in order for me to give up that second pick. Because of this year's draft, they got a lot of special talent in this year's draft. You cannot, I promise you, some people say, well, you could trade back, man, to like the number 6 spot or number this spot, number that spot, and draft J.J. McCarthy, this, that, and the fourth. If you got a chance to get Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., or Caleb Williams in that second slot, man, you better grab that ASAP. They may not come back. They may not come along again. You see what I'm saying? So you got to take advantage. You got to seize the moment while the opportunity is there. That's what a lot of these fans get it misconstrued at. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I still want us to draft for offensive lineman, just with the second pick in the second round. The first pick in the first round, I say go wide receiver. Second pick, go offensive lineman. Sign an offensive lineman free agent. You know what I mean? And then that third round pick, that first pick, you get yourself a pass rusher. And that second pick, you get yourself a cornerback or a safety or a linebacker with that pick or another offensive lineman. It all depends on who you sign a free agency. But you could play around with that because you got so much cap space money. That's the point I'm trying to get across. So people, relax. If you got a chance to get one of these wide receivers, you cannot pass on one of these two right here. Do your homework. Go and look at the highlights. Go and look at the all 22s. Do your homework. Anyway, that's all I want to do is touch on those two guys today. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm nothing without you guys. If it's the first time watching, please hit the subscribe, like, and share button. Don't forget to hit that notification button if you subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Peace.